Well, to another episode of Web3 Masterminds, and today we're very privileged to have Franklin Peters from BoundlessPay. And this episode is sponsored by Cryptopolitan and Forward Protocol. So Franklin, welcome.
Hello, hi everyone. Sorry, my video is not on. I'm trying to on my light. Can you see me now?
Yes, I can see you, Franklin.
All right, I'm happy to be here today. Yeah, I'm Franklin Peters. I'm the founder and CEO of Boundless Nexus. We have a blockchain application, BoundlessPay, which is used for global remittance. And we have a collaboration and partnership with Forward Protocol, and we are happy to be here today.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And just from Forward Protocol's side, for the people that are listening, just I explain a little bit of background. Forward is the WordPress for Web 3.0. And what Forward does is it creates no-code templates to allow you to utilize the functionality and utility of blockchain in your traditional business. So you don't have to come in as a technical geek or anybody knowing about the space at all, but you can utilize a plug-and-play system that allows you to use those Web3 toolkits. And we're really excited to chat to Franklin and hear everything about Boundless and how it integrates, etc. So Franklin, maybe you could start off by telling us a little bit about your vision and how Boundless came about and where you see it going in the next couple of years.
All right. So I got into the crypto space about 7 years ago, and my entry into the space started off with a bad experience. I tried to buy Bitcoin. I wasn't allowed to with the platforms I tried to use then. And that was because, the part of the world where I'm from, I'm a Nigerian, some of those services were not open to us, right? And then I remember trying to send money to someone. I went through the bank. It was going to take a couple of days before the person gets to receive it. I was going to be charged about 25% for that particular transaction.
Wow, that's a lot, eh?
Yeah, it was too much. And yeah, it was a very bad one because it was an urgent kind of transaction I wanted to make. And then when I got into the crypto space, I once made a transaction of up to $1 million, and I didn't pay up to $1 for transaction fee. And the recipient got it almost immediately. So I said, hey, there's a problem and someone has to solve it, right? And that was when the vision of BoundlessPay became clearer to me. I started building BoundlessPay. And we started off with an exchange, and then eventually we migrated into BoundlessPay. Right now, we launched about 2 months or 3 months ago, December last year, and the growth has been massive. The adoption has been crazy. The partnerships has been wow. And Forward Protocol is one of the best, partnerships we've signed recently. And our plan is to, build a Web 3.0 payments gateway that is going to be connected to our wallet. And that gateway will now be applicable in Forward Protocol system. So if you use Forward Protocol to create a website, a Web 3.0 website, BoundlessPay could be the payment gateway for you to receive your payments straight up. And then, of course, we can do fiat settlements if you want to get your money in cash anywhere around the world.
That sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. You know what I really love about what you guys are doing, and maybe you could just give it to us in like a context. Like in Africa, I'm from South Africa. Yeah. I know the difficulty that people have. Millions and millions of people, hundreds of millions of people, in making remittances and making payments, etc. That complete unbanked sector. And I think I love, what you're doing there, because it does open that up to so many more people. Yeah, it really creates an opportunity for millions and millions of people. Yeah. What's your vision around that and expanding that?
Yeah. Okay. I was a session earlier today, just before we got here. And, for crypto adoption to happen, there has to be education, right? And aside from education, there has to be like a gateway. There has to be something that people relate with, that people connect with, that doesn't scare them away. Everybody says cryptocurrency, people says blockchain, people says Web 3.0. The guy in the street would not understand what you're saying if it doesn't relate to what he's currently doing. So maybe he has a shop, he's receiving payment in fiat. He doesn't have any business with cryptocurrency, right? If he will have to create a MetaMask wallet, or maybe start learning what you call it, seed phrase and private key and public key and all those things. So what we did is to kind of make it easy through our wallet. So with BoundlessPay, you simply, interact with the wallet the way you would interact with your normal banking application. So you you won't have that feeling that you are going into a technical domain, right? You won't have to start cramming some stuff. Simple, straight to the point, So that's going to aid adoption, right? The number of users we get like on a daily basis is like crazy. People download the app and they use it and they're like, wow, they tell their friends, come use this app that makes it easy for you to use your cryptocurrency and make payments. So adoption is sure when there is an easy to use platform like BoundlessPay. And last year when the whole Web 3.0 and NFT buzz was all over the place, right? It was difficult for people to really understand that you can actually own your own website, your own Web 3.0 website without knowing how to code. And that was the attraction I got to Forward Protocol. The fact that people would be able to, own their own websites without having a pre-knowledge of web development. You don't have to learn Solidity. You don't have to learn all these things are fresh for you to own your own website, drag and drop, simple clicks, absolutely amazing. So the fusion is something that people should be looking forward to.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. A lot of people are uneducated. And I speak to my friends, and sometimes I talk to them about blockchain or crypto. Their eyes just roll back. They don't know what we're talking about. And you and I talk here, and we understand the language and the lingo and all the technicality and what have you. But for us to create adoption, as you said, we needed to make it easy. And that's what we've always spoken about at Forward, is how do we make things so simple that people can use it in very much the same way that they use things today? Because if they can, then they can adopt it and they can, come into the space and they don't have to relearn a whole lot of new stuff. Yeah. So I love what you're doing there, which is really great. Tell me a little bit about the functionality of the app and the features and how someone would interact with it.
All right. So starting from the download, the app itself is currently on Play Store and App Store. So anybody that has a basic Android phone or an iPhone can download it straight up. The registration easy, straight up. You can register from any part of the world, right? So the functionalities we have on the app includes the wallet system. So you can be able to receive and send out any cryptocurrency listed on the app, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, Tron, all those other coins, right? And we can list more coins. Look forward to having Forward token on the app. Soon we are going to list Forward. Yeah.
So, great.
Yeah. So we have over 40 blockchains, integrated. So both those and Tron network, Binance Smart Chain network, Binance Chain network, Omni, and several other ones. So actually we can list as many tokens as possible. And then so apart from the ability to send, receive, you can also swap from one token to another. So if you have Bitcoin and you want to swap it to USDT, it's just a simple click and the swap happens instantly at a very low transaction fee. So aside from that, we are doing a whole lot around DeFi. We are aggregating multiple DeFi APIs in our app so that you don't need to leave the app to stake your token elsewhere, right? So if you have your token on BoundlessPay, you can stake and you get APY. Those yields you get, we've integrated Aave protocol. We are currently working on Balancer. We have, some, what you call it, hedge funds that we're currently working with as well. So you can, instead of keeping your coins idle, even now we're in a bear market, right? Most people are waiting for the market to rebound. So instead of just holding it idle, you can actually stake it and you earn, yields, reasonable yields. And this is something that you can't really enjoy depending on the fiat economy. Okay, banks these days, they don't give even if they give you up to 3% per annum, you end up losing all those things in inflation. I think yesterday the US inflation was announced and it was over 7.5%.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy.
Crazy. And no matter how much the banks give you, you can't beat that. You can't beat that 7%. But when you come over to decentralized finance, you see a lot of opportunities, right? Where you get to earn, as crazy yields at the end of the year. But of course, we try to work with reliable ones that, of course, you don't earn so much, but then you still make some reasonable yields. So apart from that, we also do the remittance I talked about. BoundlessPay. All you need is to fund your wallet with any coin that we've listed, like USDT, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and from the app you can make your remittance request to any country that we've enabled. Lately, we got a partnership with some settlement partners in India, in Germany, and a couple of other places, Iraq. So with those partnerships, straight from your crypto wallet in BoundlessPay, you can send money to bank accounts. Now, we are not connected to any bank. No bank is doing the settlements for us. We do it in a very, very proprietary model. We partner with remittance partners. These partners sign MOU, do KYC and AML with us, so we have their details. Okay. Yeah. So when the user makes the transfer to any bank account in the receiving country, okay, a notification is sent to the settlement partners. So maybe we have like 5 or 10 settlement partners in that location. 10 of them are going to get the notification. The first partner to approve the transaction will do the settlement himself. So he's going to pay locally from his bank to the recipient.
That's clever.
Yes. And then,
that's smart.
Yeah, then we release the token to him. So that's it. It's more like mining. You know how mining works when you transact. That's what we just replicated, but for remittance in BoundlessPay.
That's actually good, because then the user gets the benefit. Yeah. And they're paying low fees and what have you, which is great.
Yeah.
And I believe you've got your own token too. What about, tell us a little bit about your token and the utility and how you see that working.
Okay, so we have our own native token. It's called Nexus, NEXUS, Nexus token. So it's going to be powering the BoundlessPay app, and it's going to open us up to a whole, blockchain economy, right? Remember, BoundlessPay in itself is centralized. So the token is the decentralized aspect of what we're doing. So we're going to be building dApps that will be commensurate to what we're doing in BoundlessPay. For instance, these remittance partners that I talked about, we are going to be incentivizing the fastest settler. So the person that does the most transactions for the month, the person that does the fastest Hello, can you hear me?
I'm still here. Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. So the remittance partners that do the fastest, does the most transaction are going to be rewarded with the Nexus token. So we are kind of, anybody can be a remittance partner once you can do settlements on our behalf, right? So the token is going to have a protocol that does that. We're also looking to explore the NFT world, right? We are still working around that. So with the token, if you're holding the token on our wallet, your fees are going to be subsidized. So you pay lower fees because you're holding the token on the wallet. You are also going to be able to spend the token within the app. Okay, within BoundlessPay, I forgot to mention, we allow people to make in-app payments. Right now, you can pay utility bills in Nigeria, but in the future, we're currently working on that. We're trying to partner with some utility aggregators, so you can pay your gas bills, you can pay your electricity bills, you can pay for all those everything within BoundlessPay without needing.
So tell me, Franklin, just explain that part. Tell me how that works. How does a user actually utilize that functionality? Because I think it's very useful.
Yeah. Okay, so there are utility payment aggregators, okay, currently that have connected to multiple utility channels. I'll give you an instance. Let's say, I don't want to mention names, right? So what they do is they connect to Etisalat, they connect to MTN, they connect to Do, they connect to all those things, right? And then they have a single API that they give out to us, right? So that API, we connect it to BoundlessPay, and we fund our wallet with them with fiat. Okay, so we fund our wallet with them with fiat, and of course we make the service open to our users. So our users get to fund their BoundlessPay app with crypto. They make a request to recharge their phone or to pay any utility bills with crypto. So we take the crypto from them and we pay the service using the fiat we've already funded on the platform. So we actually pay fiat, but we take the crypto from them. So, you know, we just make it, this whole thing happens within a second. So it doesn't take time, it happens. So you get to spend your crypto, we take the whole stress to do the conversion on your behalf, while the utility platform gets fiat. So they don't necessarily need to get crypto, they get the fiat. But hopefully in the future, utility platforms will start accepting, you know, fiat directly.
Yeah, that's actually very useful because it's seamless on the utility platform side.
Yeah.
And it helps the user and use it as an interface in the middle, helping them you know, distribute that functionality between the two parties.
Yeah.
Which is really great.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds like you know, you've thought through and you've got some really interesting ideas about how to solve problems from a local region area, which I think is going to spill out into many parts of the developing world. I certainly can see it being very functional. So it's nice to see what you guys have developed and put together. Well done.
Thank you.
You know, really good.
The thing is, you know, the more we solve problems like this, such that people that are not, you know, people that are not so technical can use crypto to solve their daily needs, the better they understand that crypto is money, right? Because some of them see it as, you know, some EMC, you know, like, you know, some formula kind of stuff. So if we can solve their daily problem using crypto, then they can embrace crypto directly.
Well, I think it's so wise because it really is just a medium of exchange.
Yeah.
So many people don't have that functionality and that medium of exchange in their everyday lives. And if they've got a way of, you know, sending somebody a payment or, you know, buying an MTN recharge voucher or whatever it is, paying the school fees or buying a loaf of bread, it creates a functionality. And as you say, it's once they translate cryptocurrency into real value, they understand the value of that transaction. And then it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Because whether you're giving somebody, you know, dollars or euros, or you're giving them tokens, it doesn't matter. So long as they're getting that exchange, they're happy, and that's what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think it creates that functionality, which is certainly what we need. This is a matter of interest. Do you know how many people in Africa, for example, don't have bank accounts? Must be a massive number. I mean,
the last research I did, only 34% of Africans are properly banked. You know, there is this three category of people: the banked, the underbanked, and the unbanked, right? A massive number of Africans are underbanked, even though they have access to bank, but they are absolutely underbanked. You can't have access to proper loan, you know, you can't have access to a credit system. You don't have access to, you know, mortgage. You're underbanked, even though you have a bank account.
100% right.
Yeah, so some important facilities are not available to you. You're underbanked. So DeFi solves that problem. For instance, in BoundlessPay, you can save money in BoundlessPay, right? And in BoundlessPay, you can actually request for automated savings. So if you have like 1 Bitcoin, you can request for the app to take $10 from your Bitcoin wallet every single day. So every day, irrespective of the price of Bitcoin, it takes $10, right? And if you do it this way, because Bitcoin always goes up and comes down, at the end of the year, you'll be shocked you've saved maybe $20,000, but you still have $50,000 in Bitcoin, because I mean, it doesn't affect the fact that you have one Bitcoin, right? Even though it goes down in small fractions, but each time it goes up, maybe you take $10, it goes down. So that's one of the functionality we have in BoundlessPay, right? Secondly, we use the amount you've saved so far as a collateral to give you loan. So if you've saved like $10,000 and you want to take a loan of $2,000, we're not going to ask you to bring extra collateral. We're going to lock the amount you've saved, and we give you $2,000 in loan. Whenever you want to pay back, you can pay back. But you know, the model we created helps you to make full use of your wealth in crypto. You understand? And enjoy every aspect of being banked. So crypto, as I see it, helps both the underbanked, the unbanked, and the banked to have a full access to a proper financial system. That's how I see it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it really does level the playing fields, because the hurdles for somebody that, I mean, if you think about it, like in Africa, there are probably that 700 or 800 million people that are either unbanked or underbanked. That's a massive, massive number. It's a big market. Yeah. And so just switching to more of a general market now, I want to ask you some questions around, and I know you've got your Oculus headset there and what have you. Put it on, man. I want to see, and I want you to explain to us. Tell us about it. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, I can see you.
Magic.
So
explain. Tell us what you're seeing and what it looks like, and what your thoughts are of, you know, what the metaverse is going to be, and how you're going to transact with Boundless and the different parties inside the metaverse using your glasses.
Okay, all right. So, you know, immediately I put this on, right? It took me to a different environment. Like, you know, I found myself in a huge park where I could see trees, I could see, you know, birds flying around, and I could actually move around and do stuff. But the moment I tapped it like twice, now I can see you, but like I'm seeing you, I can see my screen, you know, I can do stuff, and I can still interact with the metaverse. You know, this is crazy.
So where am I in that park? Am I in the park, or am I still on my screen?
So you're not in the park. You are going to come to the park if you wear this, right? If you put this on, then I can see you in the park. We can move around and do stuff. But since you're not putting it on, right, I can see you on my screen like I'm not putting this on at all. Even though I have this on my face, you know, it transforms my environment into like a black and white screen where I can now see you physically as well, even though I'm in the, so that it's amazing. So
that's incredible.
Yeah, I feel like this is the future of you know, social networking, is the future of work, is the future of the internet. You know, the first version of the internet was you know, read only, right? I can just send you information, you read it, you can print it out, that's all, right? Communication. That's Web 1.0. Web 2.0, you could now log into platforms using your email, your password, and you can, you know, store your own data, do several other amazing things with it. And the likes of Facebook, Google, Yahoo, they did a whole lot with that, right? And but the thing is, the moment you reach on those platforms, you kind of give up your data, right? Even though you agree, do some terms of use and stuff, but your data can be used to do targeted ads and stuff towards you, right? But what 3.0, which is what is, you know, the metaverse is supposedly supposed to be built on, gives you full control of your data. So, but then where the metaverse comes into play is that now you are having this sense of presence, right? You understand. I mean, I'm no longer interacting. I'm no longer relegated to interact with you through a screen, a laptop screen. You know, I can now be with you. So assuming you're putting this on, probably you could be in my room as well, or maybe I'll be in your room. And then
so we could be walking in the park together, having a conversation about Web3 and what have you.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, and someone in Miami could actually also appear in that same park. Someone in maybe South Africa could also be in the same park. So you meet new people every day. Yesterday I made like 3 friends, you know, one from UK, all through, you know, I did that from the, you know, metaverse and stuff. So I was trying to share with you earlier, the current metaverse concept in the crypto space is not yet fully established, right? Because, you know, we see, I don't want to mention names again, we see a lot of people saying they are building stuff on the metaverse, and, you know, people, you know, playing games and doing all those kind of stuff without an interface that connects you into the environment itself. You understand? So I feel like in the future, the likes of Decentraland, Sandbox, they are supposed to kind of have devices like this that would give you that immersive experience of what the metaverse, what they are doing in the metaverse.
Yeah, it makes sense. That makes 100% sense.
Yeah.
So how do you see, I mean, the industry evolving? Do you think not having access to devices like this will slow it down, or do you think it'll evolve over time so that you know, devices are more accessible to people? Is it an important thing to have a device to participate in the metaverse?
Yes, it's very important. It's very important. I mean, if I can't have that sense of presence, okay, in the metaverse you are creating, then there is no difference between what you're doing and what has been there. You understand? If I still have to interact with your metaverse from the screen of my laptop, then it's just an enhanced 3D game or an enhanced video or something. Yeah. You know, you know, so there has to be a way for me to what you call it, there has to be a way for me to feel that presence, to interact, you know, to be in the environment itself, for me to say that I'm in the metaverse. Remember that metaverse is more like a digital form of the universe. Okay, so if I'm still in the universe, but I'm then interacting with what you're doing through the screen of my laptop, then I'm not in the metaverse. So in the future, I believe that you know, there are going to be more enhanced devices. Like, it may not be as heavy as this. I think I've seen what Microsoft is doing. You know, they actually bought Active or whatever, you know, recently, and they are trying to create smaller glasses that people can wear, you know, something as tiny as this, and they will still be able to connect to the metaverse. And the kind of phones we are going to be using in the future may not be as like this. You understand? It may have something like hologram, you know, that still takes you. So we are going to see a whole new level of evolution of devices, maybe in the next 2-3 years, that will now be commensurate with the software aspect of it that we're talking about today.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, what we sort of in the in-between phase now, where we sort of half in the metaverse with connecting with you. So what I'm looking at on my screen now is not really you. It's a pixelated version of you that's projected to me. And so I'm not really there with you, but in time, that'll become more real and more augmented, where I can literally see you, as you say, in a hologram or something like that. And that will be a much more immersive experience. And I imagine with your Oculus glasses, it would, you know, actually make it more accessible, and I suppose immersive is the word, where you become part of that environment and you really can feel and experience it together in a sense. So which is good. Another thing that I wanted to ask you about, which I know is important to you, is your idea on DAOs and how that's going to develop as we go into the future. You know, thinking about the metaverse, Web3, crypto, how important it is, and where you see yourselves playing a part in that.
Yeah, sure. You know, the crypto environment have always thrived with community. I'll use the word community, right? Yeah. And these communities are people who eventually start adopting these cryptocurrencies, you know, start spreading the news and telling more people to come in, you know, to come understand what we're doing. But then DAO, decentralized autonomous organizations, and DAC, decentralized autonomous community, and decentralized autonomous companies, is going to, I mean, it's going to play a huge role in the future of blockchain, of the metaverse, because there has to be an understanding between the project owners and the people adopting the project, right?
Right.
There has to be a governance model, right? That does not confer the entire power in the hands of one man, that kind of decentralizes the decision-making process, the every aspect of it. And that is what the DAO does. So in BoundlessPay, we are looking to adopt that model through our token, Nexus token. We're going to have our decentralized autonomous community where people get to vote for what should be done, for how it should be done, for when it should be done, and they get incentivized for playing a role, within the DAO.
That makes sense. Yeah, I also believe that DAOs are going to be a vital part of the way we interact as communities going forward into the Web3 world, and really important because I think beforehand for us to get access to like Web2 companies, let's just say if you wanted to become a shareholder in Facebook or Google or what have you, you'd buy some shares and things, but you didn't really have any sort of right or voting right. It was actually quite difficult. And the main shareholders, held most of the rights. But with a decentralized organization and, having a tokenized economy, it really does help you to participate. And it allows us to become a part of Web3 and the platforms that we are being included in. We're building things we're buying, etc., because it allows us to become part of those organizations, those ecosystems, which is really good. And another part that you speak about quite a bit, which is important in the physical transfer of goods and services, etc., are NFTs. And how do you see that developing in the next couple of years in relation to what's happening in the metaverse and the way we're moving forward with Web3?
Yeah, okay. NFTs, I posted something on my Twitter I think it was on the 4th of January. And I said that NFTs and the metaverse concept is going to drive adoption for cryptocurrency and blockchain in 2022. And the reason I said that is that for the first time, you can have full ownership of a digital art, of a digital commodity, and it can be proven that you are the owner. Right?
Yeah.
It and it's just unique. It's either one of many, right? And you can actually prove that this is the originator, and any other new owner that has it can trace it back to you. So I feel like in as much as currently NFTs are losing steam as it was some months back. I mean, some people sold NFTs millions of dollars. And the search was really high on Google ranking and stuff, but now it has dropped a little bit. But I feel like it's going to still come back up, right?
Yeah.
I have a website. I upload stuffs on the website, and anybody can just go. I mean, I'm talking in terms of Web 2.0. Anybody could go to the website and just right click and download the images on the website, and then it becomes theirs. But in Web 3.0, I see a future where even the code that is used to create the website is an NFT. You understand? That's
interesting.
Yeah, that's the future I'm seeing. So you can't just go and replicate my code. Maybe there's going to be a Web 3.0 GitHub. I don't know.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So if you want to go replicate my code and build same thing, I'm kind of duplicate my work, then you have to mint it as an NFT, and it's going to trace back to me. So, in the future, if someone wants to know who is the original creator of this code, of this content, it can be traced back to me, and I'll get my credit for that. So NFT is beyond JPGs and PNGs and images. NFTs is going to play a huge role in the crypto and in blockchain adoption. Stuff like Emirates ID for those who are in Dubai, or maybe some international passports, can actually be NFTs in the future. Governments.
That makes sense.
Yeah, governments are going to see the need to kind of turn these things into NFTs and be able to track it back at some point. I also feel stuff like in the medical sector, doctors would be able to NFT results of people's stuff so that it can be tracked back, right? So aside from cryptocurrencies being used as a means of payment, NFT is bringing the real world, kind of experience on crypto, on blockchain, right? Through NFTs.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You know, what we focus on at Forward is not just the creator side with pictures and images, etc., with NFTs, but there's such a vast array that you can actually use NFTs for, whether it's digitizing research papers or an e-commerce site having a one-click batch uploading of NFTs. Or upgradable NFTs. And I think it is exactly as you say, it's going to be utilized right across the space as people find the utility in it, and that it is a unique identifier and it can be transferred to somebody else. Yeah. So I can track exactly what you've done and who the original owner is, and you can transfer it to me, either in part where you rent it to me, or you transfer it fully and I buy it, or whatever it is. So it really does open up a lot more scope for the functionality and how people use it. How do you think that's going to connect with DeFi in the development of the space?
I was just about to say that. Yeah, it's the connection is it's going to be an interesting one, because NFTs on their own, I'm not talking about the images, I'm not talking about the ape, you know, once there's a real life value attached to an NFT, then it can be used as a collateral, you know, to take a loan. It can be used so NFTs for payments, NFTs for loans, NFTs for several other things. So let's assume now you have an NFT that gives you access to an exclusive membership of a club.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this club, those who don't have the NFT will have to pay to attend events in the club, right? Once you have the NFT, you don't get to pay, okay? So then I see value in that. I can decide to take that NFT as a collateral and I can give you a loan in exchange for it, right? Knowing that if you don't pay, I can resell this NFT and get my money back. I can also decide to rent this NFT for people who want to have short-term membership, right, to the club, right? So the connection is very visible. Once an NFT has a real-life value, right, which can be used to make money, then of course it can be applied on DeFi. I've heard about platforms where you can stake NFTs and earn rewards. Okay, so if you stake, for instance, if we should adopt that pattern, then we should be able to give people our token for staking their NFTs on BoundlessPay. So, you know, that's one. Then you can also, I'm also thinking of, you know, NFTs for payments. But the thing is, if it is one of one NFT, how do you use it for payments? So if I pay you using the NFT, then I don't have it anymore. How do I make the second payment? You know, so but there's going to be a huge fusion of NFTs and DeFi in the future.
So, what do you think are the lowest hanging fruit in that area? The easiest things that you'd start utilizing in your industry and maybe the great industry as a whole. And if people worked on those, it would create adoption and allow other people to come into the space and you know, use them.
Collateralization, being able to use NFT as a collateral to either take loan or anything. But collateralization currently works.
Yeah, I suppose that's right, because it's the most tangible for somebody. They can collateralize something immediately. They can get access to funds which they can use in their daily lives, and it becomes something that's really real.
Yeah. And
I mean, going forward, obviously, there are a lot of bottlenecks and things that are blocking progress and development in the space. What in your environment, and what do you see as those bottlenecks? If we remove those, what would facilitate and really speed up adoption for people?
Yeah, so there are two major ones. First, government and regulation. Most of the people that are yet in the crypto space that have kind of interviewed, somehow the reason they have not yet gone into the crypto space is because of the government's view on crypto. So they believe so much in the government that if the government says we don't want to do this, then they say I'm with the government. You understand? So with the right education, they need to know that the government is not healthy for them. I'm sorry to say this. Yeah. Government is not healthy for them. So so that's one, right? If you take away that, if government could have a stand like, okay, say, okay, we want to regulate this to make it more safe and healthy for people to use, then it's fine. You know, it gives people like an understanding that, okay, yeah, government is with us, but then they want us to do it this way. So the second thing is easy to use platforms. Most of the platforms I've seen are technical.
They're very technical.
Very technical. So the woman in the streets who, you know, only has a shop, who didn't even go to school, will not want to be part of cryptocurrency because she has to learn some new technical things to be able to use it, right? You know, so how do you take off that bottleneck? That's like what we have done in BoundlessPay. Create platforms that is easy to use, easy to adopt. You don't need to start cramming your seed phrase and all those stuff. Register normally, right? And do your transactions. You don't need to do P2P. For instance, what most platforms do is the porous and open kind of P2P, where people list their orders. Like I want to sell Bitcoin at XYZ amount, you know, and then those who want to buy go there and then they select and they make the payment. The woman in the streets or the boy that doesn't know so much about internet may not be able to use it for his transactions because it's a bit technical and a bit difficult to use. Also, you have to put out all your information out there to the public domain. You have to put your bank account details. You have to put your phone number so that the person can contact you. It's not secure. You know, if I go to a P2P platform and I do a transaction with you, now I know you have money. Now I know your phone number. Somehow I can use your phone number to start trailing you, and I can attack you because I know, oh, you did 100 million, you did $2 million last month. You should have money, you know. So it's not safe. So BoundlessPay removes that environment, that P2P, open P2P system, and we kind of partner up with people, we do KYCs and AML on them. So the sender does not need to know that it is a P2P system that we're using. The recipient does not need to know it is a P2P. The sender simply sends money, recipient receives it. In between, we do the P2P with the merchants that we have, you know, have their details, and that's it. So I you know, I recommend that platforms or companies try to adopt models that are not so you know, risky, that are not so technical, because it's going to, you know, help more people to adopt cryptocurrency easily, you know, without stress.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing you bring up about regulation, because, you know, I think if you think back to like 2017, 2018, everyone in the beginning was talking about like, let's go completely like decentralized and get away from the centralized guys. They're terrible and they're evil and what have you. But now we have DeFi, which is actually a very small part of the whole financial system globally. And most of the money is sitting outside. Mm-hmm. And I see now there's more of a swing to more of a middle ground, where I think as soon as you start including bigger companies that are reliant on you know, corporate governance and the legal structures that they have, as soon as you make you know, DeFi and the environment more regulation friendly, and you can bring those people in, there's a lot of money sitting on the sideline that can actually come into the environment. And it's huge. It's much bigger than what's inside. And so I agree with you in saying that it's important if we could remove that bottleneck and actually find regulations that fit in the space, so that people are protected, and so that big, you know, organizations and institutions that have corporate governance that they've got to comply with. And we've seen it this year. Lots of VCs starting to come into the space. You know, people, you know, bringing money in that wasn't, accessible before, because there was no governance around it. And as that develops and a structure comes into place, we'll find that a lot more money flows in, a lot more people come in. There's a more opportunity for people. And I really look forward to that day, because I think then we start creating a proper financial system inside the space that can be utilized by institutions right the way through to the end user, and it becomes very, very useful for people right across the space.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting to see how it's going to develop. Just in wrapping up, have you got any last sort of thoughts on the space, where you see it going? What's happening this year? I know the whole market has been sort of up and down this year. It's crazy. I mean, nobody knows where it's going, sideways, up, down.
Yeah.
What do you see happening in 2022, and what we can look forward to?
Yeah, so this year started off with the market correction. Last year, we had a lot of bullish momentum. The market went broke all-time high multiple times. And like we all know, whatever goes up has to come down at some point. So the market started experiencing the corrections. And then we got into the current situation with Russia and Ukraine, which is bringing a lot of uncertainties in the markets for people within those areas and stuff. But somehow I see a lot of positive impact that is creating, because of course a lot of people have been able to donate to Russia financially through crypto.
That's right.
Not Russia, sorry, Ukraine. And in fact, the Ukrainian government had to make cryptocurrencies, legal in Russia, in Ukraine, right? And that has kind of opened the eyes of people to see that crypto has utility for real. It has utility beyond just speculation, buy and sell, make profit. During war periods, when banks are shut down, the entire financial system is dead, crypto comes to the rescue. Okay, so with that, much more countries and individuals would be able to adopt crypto. Now, I saw a post by someone from Russia. He posted that his card, he fled Russia. I kept saying Russia, Ukraine. So he fled Ukraine. He went to Poland. His credit cards were not working. He said all his funds that are in the bank account, he don't have access to it. The only thing he has been feeding off from is his crypto. So he's been able to spend his crypto in Poland, convert some of it to fiat in Poland, and he's living off it. So imagine he didn't have access to that crypto. It means he would have died of starvation because of the situation, right? Even though he had money in the bank. Okay, so that is going to make people to want to hold a little bit of crypto just in case, because you don't know what will happen next. So even if you have the whole money in fiat, at least hold a little bit of crypto. So as of now, just about 2% of the global world population is into cryptocurrency, just 2%. If everybody come to that realization that at least holding a little bit of crypto, even if my whole wealth is not in crypto, if I hold like 2% or 1% of my wealth in crypto, just in case, it means that we're going to see up to 20% adoption rate in cryptocurrency this same year, 2022. And this is what I feel. I feel we are going to move from $2 trillion market cap to like $10 trillion market cap this year. And if that should happen, we're going to see Bitcoin at least $100,000. If that happens, we're going to see another bullish movement before the end of this year. And this is my prediction and what I feel will happen this year.
Well, Franklin, from your lips to God's ears.
Amen.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's funny. I was chatting to a guy in Cape Town, who's been working in Russia for the last 3 years. And he had left now, and he didn't have access to his funds. They were all locked up there. So he can go back there, and it's exactly as you say. If he had it in, just even in USDT or something, he could have just moved it out and carried on functioning. But now he's restrained by forces that are completely beyond his control. And I think that's what this whole space gives us. It basically gives us that sovereign identity back, where we can become individuals, control our own financial destinies, and do something, and give us that power back again, which is really great.
Yeah.
But it's been really nice chatting to you, man.
Sure. Thank you. I just want to say one last thing.
Yes, of course, go for it.
Yeah, I moved to Dubai from Nigeria last year. I'm like a year, 3 months in Dubai now. And I've not had a bank account in Dubai, but I've been spending money. I've been living off my crypto portfolio, right? I've been making payments. So anytime I need to make payments in fiat, in dirham, I can always convert my crypto to. So now I can easily move to anywhere around the world without really stressing about, do I need to have a bank account in this place or stuff? Once I have my crypto, I'm free to do whatever I want to do. So yeah, the future is bright. Crypto is the future. It's going to play a huge role in the future of finance and our daily life, whatever we're doing. So when you combine the financial aspect of it to ownership, digital ownership, in terms of NFTs, to our, connection, how we work with people globally using Web 3.0 and Metaverse, you'll see that we're going to have an entirely new kind of world in the next 5 years. And the people who are going to enjoy this seed we are planting now is the next generation.
Exactly.
Myself, everybody, we are kind of just planting the seed. I would kind of relate it this way. We are the ones planting the fiber optic cables of just like those who did it back in the days. The people who will enjoy this are the next generation, and they'll be happy we did what we did. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, really nice chatting to you. Look forward to connecting in the future and working together. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Keep well. Cheers.
You too. Bye.